All right, we are live. Let's see who else is awake out there tonight. Happy Michael Myers Monday, everybody. Tonight is Monday, February 15th. I hope you all had a good Valentine's weekend. Happy Michael Myers Monday. Hope everybody's feeling good tonight. If you're new here, my name is Matt. I am the owner and editor-in-chief of Halloween Daily News, and this is our weekly live chat, our conversation where we talk about the Halloween movie franchise and all things Michael Myers, and we just connect with our fans and friends and viewers and fellow fanatics of this great franchise. And if you're a returning viewer, then welcome back, guys. Happy Michael Myers Monday. How's everybody doing? There's Phil. Hello, Phil. How are you tonight? I hope you're doing well, man. I appreciate all the support. Phil's one of our regular viewers every week. And happy to see all you guys. Got a few news items we're going to talk about in just a few minutes. And I got some stuff to show and tell this week. We talked about it last week. And I promised that we'd have some stuff. New shipment from Trick or Treat Studios, and that did arrive in the last few days, and we've got some restocks, not new 2021 products quite yet, but some new products that we haven't had in quite a long time that are just now restocked in our online store, and I'm going to be showing off just a couple of those here in just a minute. First, I'm going to take a breath. I'm going to take a drink out of my traditional Michael Myers mug, and give you guys a chance to comment. Please don't be shy. Join in on the conversation. And there is a little bit of a delay, of course, and if I don't get to you right away, then I'll take a break from whatever I'm talking about, and I'll get to you at that point. So thanks again for being here, everybody. All right. Like I said last week, we just got a rare winter shipment from Trick or Treat Studios just last week, and it allowed us to restock some of the many of the Michael Myers related products and franchise products that we've been out of stock since last Halloween or prior. And so first up, I want to show you guys. This is, of course, the Halloween 1978 Michael Myers Deluxe mask by Trick or Treat Studios. They call this one the Shape. This is the 78 that was released for the first time in 2019. It's one of the best-selling masks. We had a few last year, but they sold out. Like I said, I want to say right before Halloween itself last year. And normally we are out of stock until summer or spring even. But this year we were able to get a few more. So they are listed up on the site. This is one of them. This is just a random one that I pulled out. And as you can see, I mean, the hair is not styled or anything. It's just, it is spray painted black. And you can see the sculpt there by Justin Mabry of Trick or Treat Studios, who, of course, was on Christopher Nelson's team that designed the 2018 mask. And we do have these 1978s back in stock now on the website, HalloweenDailyNews.com/shop. There he is. And, of course, this guy over here, the Boogeyman, we've also got more of those in stock too. That's Halloween 78 from the finale of the film. And I did this last week. I'm going to do it again this week. If you do order any of these masks, these two Myers 78s that I'm talking about, this restock or the Boogeyman, I did this last week. I'm going to do it again this week. I will throw in a treat in the box. A little surprise for you, free of charge. If you order within, we're going to say roughly the next 24 hours. So we're going to say until 11:59 p.m. on Tuesday night. That way, if you're watching this tomorrow or whenever, and you place your order. But here's the thing, because I won't know for sure if you saw it from here unless you let me know. So I need you to comment either in the comments below that, hey, I just placed my order for the 78 mask, like you said. Excuse me. Or you can send us a message through Instagram, the Halloween Daily News Instagram, or probably the easiest thing, you can email us at the HalloweenDailyNews.com contact page. It's just HalloweenDailyNews.com/contact. Any of those ways, if you let me know as soon as you place your order and say, hey, this is my name, I watched Michael Myers Monday live, I placed my order, then I will make sure that you get a special treat in the box with either one of these masks that are ordered in the next 24 hours. Just a little something specifically for the Michael Myers Monday live viewers that are watching this, and anybody watching it on a replay. But so again, back in stock, the 1978 Deluxe Myers mask. Okay, but that's not all from the franchise. We also got back in stock. We only had a very few of these last year, and they sold out pretty much as soon as we listed them. This is the Halloween 1978 Fear Freshener, the Michael Myers Fear Freshener. And you can see there's the mask. The artist is Sam First, and it is the mask from the 78. It has got a cinnamon scent. I've said before, I don't know why they didn't do pumpkin scent for Michael, but in any case, it's cinnamon scent. And again, these are back in stock. HalloweenDailyNews.com/shop. They're only $4 a piece, plus shipping. And we also, for the first time ever, for us anyway, we've got the Halloween 1978 poster Fear Freshener. And there you can see it is the poster image, the iconic jack-o'-lantern and knife image from the 78 poster. This actually just now listed, literally just a few minutes ago. I just added this to the website. We've got both of the 78s right now in stock. I tell you this because you guys are watching the live show, and they are not going to last. They didn't last last year. We don't anticipate they're going to last. We don't have a ton of them. Same thing with the masks. They always go fast. So I want to let you guys know. And now I'm going to show you what I'm most excited to show you guys. What's up? There's Byron. How's it going, Byron? Another one of our loyal viewers and supporters. Might get that 78 mask. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Do it. And we'll, like I said, I'll throw in a surprise treat in the box too. But look, here's what I want to show you guys that I've never shown you guys. We got a few of these last year, and again, they were sold out pretty much before I started doing the lives. I think I might have shown you one of the packages in packages, but I wanted to open one up. This is the vintage style wall decor. They're like the old school cutouts. They were made by Beistel back in the day. They still make them, but you see it all over the place. The vintage cardboard cutouts, the posable skeletons. Now you see characters like that at Dollar Tree a lot of times. Well, Trick or Treat Studios put out their own version of these cutouts, these wall decor sets. And we've got actually quite a few of them back in stock and listed up on the site right now. We've got some Universal Monsters and some Child's Play and some Trick or Treat ones. But also from this franchise, we've got Halloween 3, a set of 4 pieces included, and that's just $10. And also a Halloween 4, also a set of 4 for just $10. And we've got the Halloween 78 set. Now, this is the one I'm going to show you right now. This is a set of, actually, you get 6 pieces included in this set. And, I mean, it's just a killer deal. And I'll show you what it is you've got 5 static pieces, unmovable, and you've got 1 posable Michael Myers, which is like the old school posable skeletons. And that's, I'm going to show you each of these because I opened this one up. This is for my own personal collection because I had to keep one of these. But we do have a couple in stock right now for sale. But I just want you to see this guy. Here he is. This is the posable Myers, okay? You can see the artwork there. Now here's where that's meant to go up there like he's stabbing, okay? Here he is in all his glory, right? Okay? This thing is awesome, guys. I mean, first of all, he's 31 inches tall. Fittingly, 31. I measured. And that's like from head to foot. When his arm is raised like that, I mean, he's almost 3 feet tall. And he's posable. All of these do have a little hole, a perforated hole in the top, just like the old school Beistel cutouts. And there you can get a good look at the artwork. All of this artwork, the artist's name is Marty McEwen. And again, this is only the one piece, the posable Myers piece. And there's 5 other pieces I'm about to show you that the artwork here, I just love this vintage style artwork. And just kind of, just this whole idea of the old school wall decor, the old school cutouts, the cardboard cutouts, and you can pose him however you want. Okay, so like I said, this is mine, the one that I opened, this pack, because I had to keep one for myself, of course. Now, I'll go ahead and show you the other pieces, guys. This is the packaging, okay? Comes in a bag like this. This is why we got up. Again, this set right here, all 6 of these, it's only $12. It's an insane deal. Plus shipping, though, we do have to charge some shipping and handling because you don't want these getting bent on the way. But here, you know, this is the card back comes on top of the bag like that. Okay, that's the 78. It's got the 78 poster, and then it's got the 6 designs on the back. And I will show you those now. Now, like I said, that one's 31 inches. These are not quite that tall, but probably roughly about 2 feet tall, each of these. And I'll just go through them because I love each one of these guys. And again, the artist's name is Marty McEwen. You should find him on Instagram and give him a follow and tell him where you heard about it from Halloween Daily News. But here's the first one of the static pieces. As you can see, that's the Myers house, obviously, right there. And you can see it's got a kind of the lots of odes to the Bob Ghost on these artistic renditions. Okay. And again, I just love the coloring, the simple orange and black with a little white. I mean, it's just so old school, so vintage. I mean, you guys, if you've been watching these, you know that I just love the vintage Halloween in general, just vintage Halloween stuff, whether it's legitimately old or whether it's more modern, being made to look and pay homage to that vintage feeling. So I love this. Obviously, you've got Michael up there in the window. You've got the Strode Realty sign down in the yard. And again, the nod to Ghost Bob here. They even put a bat up there. You know, just kind of cool, old school, Beistel type imagery. That old 60s, 70s era. Here, I'll show you the next one of these. Again, this one, big tribute to the Ghost Bob scene. Very kind of cartoonish, almost like Casper, but I love it. I absolutely love it. You know, he's playfully hiding the knife behind his back. It's the opening credits. Jack-o'-lantern, of course. Every time there's a jack-o'-lantern in one of these, it's the opening credits. Every time there's a ghost, he's wearing glasses. So I love that one. And there is also this one, again, kind of a wicked artistic rendition of Michael Myers, looking kind of burly, kind of brutal, kind of angry, and he's like coming out of the opening credits jack-o'-lantern there. He's coming out of it almost like a ghost with the spirit of Halloween. And yeah, he's got his knife. Okay. And we've got, I love this one. There you go. Again, I love the colors. I love the feeling, the artwork. I mean, you can see he's holding the knife. Blackest eyes. And last but not least, the sixth piece is, again, the classic 78 opening credits jack-o'-lantern. Like I said, each one of these has a hole punched. It will not come that way in your set, of course. That's up to you to do that punch. And you can hang them up. They are relatively, they're not super heavy duty, but they're a lot better quality, a lot thicker than the cardboard decorations that you would find at like the Dollar Tree. Okay. In fact, for what it's worth, it's 300 GSM coated paper is what it actually is. So they are meant to be reused year after year and not just hang up once. Again, I had to keep one set for myself because they're so badass, and I know they're gonna sell quick, so I had to make a quick decision and reserve mine. So that one's not for sale, but I do have some more in stock right now. Killer deal. Again, just for the artwork alone, for $12, and you get all 6 of those pieces, including the posable Myers. I mean, it's pretty insane. And like I said, we also have Halloween 3, a set of 4 pieces, and a Halloween 4 set of 4 pieces. And I don't have those to show you. Maybe next week we'll take a look at those. But yeah, so that's this week's show and tell. Some of our restocks, some franchise products that have proved to be very popular last year when we did have them in briefly, and in the case of the mask in 2019 when it was first released. So they won't last too long. I'll try to keep you guys here that tune into these lives as up to date as possible. And like I said, if anybody does order either of these Michael masks, these 78 masks, either the Boogeyman or just the straight 78, and you order it before midnight tomorrow, or before 11:59 p.m. Tuesday night, let's say, Tuesday night, February 16th, anybody in that time, as long as you let me know that you did that, and I can verify that, then I'll throw in an extra surprise for you, an extra treat, and then you guys will have even more to look forward to when the mailman arrives. So, all right, that's this week's show and tell. So, all right, Byron, let's see. Has Tots made a Halloween 6 producer's cut mask or just the theatrical cut mask? I thought they did multiple versions of Halloween 6. I know they've done multiple versions of H2O. That's a good question. I don't recall specifically them doing a producer's cut Halloween 6, but I'll have to check that out. We did have some Halloween 4s and 5s when they were first released in 2019. Again, almost as soon as we got them, we went to one event and sold all the ones we had. Beautiful masks. Just unbelievable replicas. Recreations of the mask, even if it's not your favorite mask, like the H4, the H5, or the H6, or any of the, regardless of what your favorite, these are extremely faithful replicas. And again, this 78, this is not style. This is not, this is not the greatest lighting here. This is just to give you an idea of what you're getting for, it's $60 plus shipping. And Mike says those items are awesome. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. Byron says those items are really cool. Yeah. That wall decor stuff. I mean, I love that wall decor. Honestly, we have to sell them for $12 because that's what Trick or Treat sells them for, and you can go and you'll buy it directly from them. If we charge more, I would charge more if I could because I feel like they're worth more than that. But they're just so awesome. I just think they're a great bargain for that many pieces for one, and then that the artwork is just so unique and different and fun. Of course, problem if you're like me, you're probably running low on wall space. So when and where and how to display them, that's another story. But I'll figure that out. Byron asked if I've read the Halloween Retribution script yet. Nope, I've not read that one yet. Alan Postscript. What's up, Alan? Welcome. Happy Michael Myers Monday, man. Alan, one of our local friends here on the Outer Banks of North Carolina. All right. I'm going to get into a little bit of news we've got this week. Another week, another John Carpenter interview. He is doing interviews right now to promote his new album, Lost Themes 3, Alive After Death, which is awesome. It's an awesome album. If you haven't heard it, it's on Spotify and everything. You can buy the vinyl from Sacred Bones. We've got details and links to all that at HalloweenDailyNews.com as well. So Carpenter did this interview. He's doing these interviews for the album, and of course, everyone can't help but ask about Halloween Kills and even Halloween Ends. And he says here, I'll bring it up for you guys so you can see. He he says more of what we've heard already. He calls it the ultimate slasher movie, which we've heard him say already. He says it's Halloween on steroids. It's great. They asked, is it gory? And he says, does the sun rise? Yeah, it's gory, all right. So, so again, but these are not exactly, out of line with anything he's already been saying for almost the last year now. So, what is interesting and what a lot of people have jumped on, they are asking about if Halloween Kills may be released on the streaming platforms. And I'll get to that slide in just a second. But you can see where he does mention Malik Akkad and says that Malik says it's the second best one in the franchise after the first. That's from him. And this is Carpenter speaking. Carpenter says, "I think it's a balls out slasher movie. We haven't had one of those in a long time." And again, that's Carpenter's words, and he's kind of quoting Malik Akkad there, who apparently has called Halloween Kills the second best one after 78. So that's big words coming from Malik. If so, again, Carpenter is promising the ultimate slasher, a balls out slasher. You know, I love these descriptions. But this was very similar to his. This interview was on nme.com, by the way. This is very similar to his interview that we talked about last week. They also talk about Halloween Ends, and they ask him what stage that is at, and he says, "We've all read the script and we love it, so now we've just got to wait until things are a little safer to make it." And of course, he's talking about the state of the country and the world as far as COVID protocols. And here's a bit more. He can't really talk about the Halloween in script, but when they ask his opinion about big budget movies going to streaming platforms, you can see his response when they ask, "Can you see the Halloween movies ending up being released in the same way as HBO Max is releasing many or all of the Warner Brothers theatrical releases?" And Carpenter responds, quote, "Sure, Halloween may be shared that way because theaters are dead. It's just the reality right now. It's a tragedy, but it's true. We just have to face it." And he goes on to confirm that it was the studio that contacted David and Carpenter, David Gordon Green, about putting the film off for a year. So, again, not exactly stuff we haven't heard. Still exciting. And last week I talked quite a bit about the release date. Would it get pushed back? I said I don't think it will. I said if anything, how it's released, as far as maybe it'll be in theaters, maybe it'll go to premium VOD at the same time or much sooner after. I think I mentioned that last week. I think this kind of signals a little more in that direction of what I was talking about. That even though Warner Brothers last I had heard, or Universal last I had heard, they did have that agreement with some of the major chain theaters that if a film makes less than $50 million in its first weekend, it'll go to premium VOD 14 days later. If it makes over $50 million, which Halloween Kills likely would, at least in a normal world, it definitely would. If it makes more, then they would have a 30-day window before they could put it on premium VOD. But that was announced last year. Again, the Halloween Kills delay itself was announced relatively early now, looking back and all of this. So, yeah, I think Carpenter's comments about being realistic, that the next two Halloween movies may be presented similar to how Warner Brothers is presenting their theatrical films this year, doing them all on HBO Max simultaneously on the same day, as they're also available at whatever theaters are open. Again, I think pretty much all of that is resting at the feet of Universal at this point and what they want to do. Carpenter, in this interview, makes it pretty clear, if it wasn't already, that it was, in fact, Universal that wanted to push the film, which, again, I mean, I applaud the fact that it definitely feels like Universal knows that a Halloween movie should be released in October, which wasn't the case for a lot of the previous films for a while there. And I talked about that last week, too. I think that, the fact that this is a Halloween movie does complicate things just a tiny bit. Otherwise, I think it'd be a no-brainer that put it in whatever theaters they can, 2 to 4 weeks later, it's on premium VOD for everybody else. But this is a film that really has that 2 week, assuming it opens on October 15th, is scheduled. It's got that 2 week window for mass general audiences that are just looking for a scary Halloween movie to watch around the 2 weeks around Halloween time. Which, for us, every day is Halloween, but for some people, believe it or not, uh, they come the first week of November, they're not going to be as interested in watching a movie with the word Halloween in the title. So I think that's on Universal's radar, obviously, and just seeing how everything else plays out as far as where things are with the virus and vaccinations and with theaters. Our local theater is open 3 days a week right now on weekends. So it's who knows what it's going to be like come October. But I think hearing Carpenter make those comments, a lot of people have jumped on that saying, "Oh, that means it's going to go streaming." I don't think it definitely means anything. I think it just means that at this stage in the game, this is an ever evolving, ever changing thing that we're all living through. Nobody's ever really lived through it before, so you just have to be realistic. But I do think, in a way, it kind of backs up a little bit what I was saying last week, that I'd be shocked if film's outright delayed for another year. And it does seem like Universal is very aware that Halloween Kills should be released around Halloween time for all the reasons that we all know it should be. Not the least of which is their marketing team is going to know how to market it best at that time. And they want to own that market, They want to own those 2 weeks in October for sure. All right. Sorry, guys. Let me catch up on the comments. Let's see. Byron says that album is awesome. Yep. And we'll see Halloween 281 still your favorite sequel. Yeah, that's definitely one of my favorite sequels still. March, maybe a poster, or June, July, the official Halloween Kills trailer. Yeah, I would think March, maybe even April, about 6 months out. I would look for the poster around April 15th, close to that. Again, just, the obvious thing is to look at how they marketed the 2018 film, and I think they're going to follow that template as close as possible. I think it would have been much closer had the release gone off last year like planned, but I think they're going to try to, mimic that template as much as possible, and rightfully so, because it was pretty much flawlessly marketed in 2018, I thought. What's up, Ken? Welcome to the party, man. Happy Michael Myers Monday. Byron says maybe a track from Halloween Kills soundtrack in August. Yeah, I could see that, and probably a second full trailer. Like get the official trailer June, July. Get a second full trailer late August, maybe around Labor Day, to push it home. Ken's asking what the conversation was about. Oh, just talking about another John Carpenter interview mainly, and just my feelings, and Carpenter commenting that it is realistically possible that Halloween Kills and even Halloween Ends could be released on streaming services, either at the same time as it's released theatrical, like in theaters, like how Warner Brothers is doing right now, or even a much smaller theatrical exclusive window. Because I've talked about before that Warner Brothers did put in place what I thought was, a pretty agreeable plan, except for when it comes to Halloween Kills, because again, that one it's so related to the holiday and the marketing of it, and I think just the amount of business it's going to generate is so tied to that holiday in ways that a lot of other films can be released, any other time of the year. It's not going to affect them quite as much as a Halloween film not being released or being released during Halloween time. But again, I applaud Universal for at least paying attention. And if you've got to delay it, yeah, don't set it for a February release or a March release. If you're going to delay it, might as well delay it a whole year and have it come out. Of course, they're thinking at that point, which was late last summer when that announcement was made, was that surely theaters will be back to normal by October 2021. But now here we are, 6 months away from that. Um, you know, and well, are we 6 months? No, it's February 15th. So what are we? We're 8 months away from October 15th right now. Exactly 8 months, as a matter of fact. So, um, but I think, releasing a film like Halloween, while we're going to watch it anytime, and it wouldn't matter to us so much, you know, the marketing people at Universal, they are definitely seeing the wisdom, and it makes total sense. Even on premium VOD, you've got people that don't know Halloween 4 from Halloween 6 from H2O, but they know Michael Myers, and they know, hey, it's a new Blumhouse Michael Myers movie. It's brand new, and maybe they're not going back to theaters yet. Maybe they're not comfortable with it. Maybe their local theater is not showing it, or they just can't work it out. But they're going to hit that order. It's not going to generate the kind of money that box office does. Nothing will duplicate that. But so we'll see as it gets closer. I think Carpenter, is I don't think he's laying the groundwork for anything to happen. I think he's just being realistic and being honest. Like he always is. Byron thinks a second track from the soundtrack in September. Yeah, that could be. Okay, so you own 4 different copies of Halloween 2018. 2 steelbooks, 1 regular Blu-ray, and 2 78 and 2018 2-packs. Wow. Yeah. Nope, I've just got the 4K. I do have the 4K though, which includes Blu-ray and digital, but I do not have the steelbooks. And also this week, while we're talking about news items, I'll pull this up. There we go. This was announced since last Monday, and so we haven't had a chance to talk about it, but Mezco is releasing a new mega scale Michael Myers from Halloween 2, the original 1981 Halloween 2, which this year is the 40th anniversary of Halloween 2. And there you can see some shots that Mezco released. They're anticipating that they're going to start shipping late summer, early fall, and this guy, I forget what he's priced at. I want to say, is it $98? Yeah, $98. He is up for pre-order at Mezco's site. You can find a link to that at our site right now at HalloweenDailyNews.com. But yeah, this figure, it celebrates the 40th anniversary of Halloween 2, and Michael is wearing tailored weathered coveralls featuring an all new head sculpt plus 11 points of articulation. And of course, he comes with his butcher knife accessory that fits in his right hand. He stands 15 inches tall. This is the Mezco Designer Series, what they call the Mega Scale, which is the 15-inch tall figures. And he does come in a display-friendly window box packaging. But one of the things I think is going to be most notable about this figure is that he includes sound. That's right, just like the old school figures, you can. He's got a button on his back that you'll be able to press, and you can hear 6 different phrases spoken by characters in Halloween 2. Characters that are not Michael Myers, obviously. but other characters. And the two phrases that they announced in the press release is "He came back" and "Why won't he die?" So again, for collectors, that's going to be one of the first pre-orders that you've probably already made. A lot of collectors, a little high dollar, 98, but it does look like an awesome figure. Reminds me, because Mezco does the Living Dead dolls as well, and they did the Halloween 78 Living Dead doll. Just was it 2019 or 2018? But these mega scale remind me very much of the Living Dead doll figures, with the slightly out of proportion, larger, larger than normal head. Um, but you can see a gallery, lots more photos that Mezco released. We've got them posted up at HalloweenDailyNews.com. Let's see. Ken says, "Is that Chucky in a Myers mask and jumpsuit?" Yeah, it looks, like I said, kind of like the Living Dead dolls. Yeah, a little bit Chucky-like. I can see that. What's up? Sammy Gomez has joined the party tonight. Welcome. Good to see all you guys. Ken Leshy Zarish is back here this week. Thank you for joining us again. Byron says, "I think the reason why Michael didn't chase Allison in 2018 is because he's thinking that they are saving it for kills, or if not, ends. Saving their confrontation." Yeah, I could see that. They want to build up the confrontation between Michael and Allison. Absolutely. Yeah, they don't want to put all the cards on the table yet. They want to leave some, And then there was that, definitely some strange vibes when she picked up the knife and when she did that stabbing on him, and I think, you know, foreshadowing some things to come for sure. One more little news item that I've gotten to mention this week. I want to give a shout out to Mad Monster Party. That is going to be happening this coming weekend near Charlotte, North Carolina. It's actually in Concord, North Carolina this year. This is actually the 10th anniversary Mad Monster Party. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to attend, but they are actually putting on a convention, and it is very limited amount of tickets being sold, very limited attendance. Masks are required, of course. Everything's spaced out. There's one-way aisles. They are going to be adhering to all the state's protocols and putting on a convention. And they've got about 14 or 15 guests announced, including Tyler Mane, who, of course, played Michael Myers in Rob Zombie's Halloween remake and Halloween 2, its sequel. And of course, he starred in X-Men and many other things. Friends of the show, friends of HCN, Tyler Mane, we've met him a number of times. He's always been awesome. And Mad Monster Party, it is our favorite annual convention. It tears us up that we can't be there this year, but we wish him the best. And if you are out that way or can make it and feel comfortable and can get out and, I know that if anybody can put on a safe show in these crazy times, it's going to be them. And they have done it already. They put on one last year as well. So out in Arizona, they put on one. So in addition to Tyler Mane, I mean, they've got all kinds of Kane Hodder's there, Linnea Quigley, and Amelia Kincaid, and Dan Yeager, who was in Texas Chainsaw 3D, and numerous other people, Tom Savini. So that's happening this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, February 19th, 20th, and 21st. And you can get tickets to that and learn all about everything they've got planned at madmonsterparty.com, or you can just go to HalloweenDailyNews.com. And I've got all these stories and all the restocks, by the way, that I showed you earlier tonight. There should be links to all of those in the description underneath this live stream already. And if I missed any, then I'll add them after. All right. So that's the news for this week, guys. Again, we could talk a little bit last week. We could talk a little bit about the game if you want, the video game. There's a lot of rumors, a lot of, I think, hopes and dreams. I mentioned it as we were closing out last week that Kane Hodder apparently in December was quoted. I guess he did a cameo, used the Cameo app, that a lot of people like Nick Castle and James Jude Courtney are also on. And instead of getting autographs, you can pay the celebrities to do personalized videos to you. And I guess somebody got something from Kane, and he said that he's doing motion capture on a new video game for another horror franchise that he couldn't talk about, but that we'd all be hearing about very soon. So that came out a few weeks back, I guess late last year, and a lot of people have been hoping and thinking maybe it's Gun Media who made the Friday the 13th game. Now that that's done, maybe they're going to be unleashed to do something similar for the Halloween franchise. Well, I don't have news on this more than what you guys probably know and pretty much what I've just said. But as I said last week, taking everything into account that I do know, I don't think it's a matter of if there's going to be a video game, a quality, officially licensed Halloween franchise video game in the near future. I think it's a matter of when. Of course, this is going to happen. I mean, it only makes sense that it would happen. I'm surprised it's taken this long, but then again, I think, last year, 2020, caught everybody by surprise in a lot of ways. So, but I do think it's going to happen. Whether or not it's going to be Gun Media, I don't know. I do know last week on Super Bowl Sunday, the co-creator of the Friday the 13th game and the CEO of Gun, Wes Keltner, I think is how you say his name. He did tweet that, something to the effect of everybody's, on my feed trying to find out hints for this new horror game. So it does seem that they are working on that he's aware of what's going on and it's on his mind. And this was on Super Bowl Sunday, I believe. I'm trying to find that tweet now so that I can quote it more. It was February 8th. And, it was everybody was doing the meme with the Weeknd and how he was lost in the maze at the halftime maze. And so Wes Keltner tweeted that GIF and said, "Y'all on my timeline looking for clues for our next game," and he's crying. And okay, so he didn't mention horror in that one, but he knows, and everybody knows, that they are developing something new, and just taking everything into consideration. I mean, we know Ryan Turek was a huge fan of the Friday the 13th game. We know everybody was. I mean, we know that John Carpenter is very big into video games in general right now. He's a big gamer. We know that Universal and their marketing geniuses are, thinking outside the box. We saw this with the Legend of Halloween children's book. And they're also thinking in the box of all the things that we've wanted to see so long. Things like the licenses for the Silver Shamrock Kids, the NECA figures that they put out. And some Laurie Strode stuff from Halloween 2 now. That, because remember, Universal not only controls the current trilogy, I guess, starting with 2018, but also the original Halloween 2 and 3. So, so Michael's been one of the universal monsters for a long time, in other words. But yeah, I mean, is what horror icon could Kane Hodder be talking about? Well, okay, it's not Jason. The obvious one, you could say it's Victor Crowley, his other big franchise character from the Hatchet films. Now, that would be awesome. I think we'd all love that. I think the Friday the 13th fans, the Halloween fans, all of us would love that. I love the Hatchet movies. Love Victor Crowley. Could totally see that being the case. But Hatchet is not a household name the way Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, and Halloween, Michael Myers are. The way that Ghostface is, even. Even the way that Evil Dead is, or, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. All of those are more household names than Hatchet. So, just for that reason, it's a little harder to think that it's going to be a Hatchet game. Doesn't mean it can't be. They're doing the Evil Dead game. So it is kind of a time for, I think, officially licensed horror IP to move into video games like never before. And I think Friday the 13th kind of laid the groundwork in a lot of ways and set up the community and was the proof of concept that people needed. And now it feels like, look, the games have borrowed from the movies forever. They've moved into the movies. There have been numerous movies based on the games, inspired by. So it only makes sense to go the other way. And Friday the 13th. And then also seeing all these characters like Michael Myers used in games like Dead by Daylight and, the Mortal Kombat games. I admit, I'm not a gamer. I'm not, I've never been really big into that stuff. My son, he's 13. He is a total gamer. He's into all this. And through him and with him, I have played a lot of the games I just mentioned. The Dead by Daylight, I love that, especially the Michael Myers stuff. The Mortal Kombat games, of course, I did grow up with those, and I love that original one. So, but yeah, is it going to happen? Is that what Kane Hodder's doing? Again, you eliminate Jason. And you say, okay, it could be Victor Crowley, but So of the big icons that do pull, have that instant name recognition, Freddy and Jason. Okay, Jason's off the table. I don't think it'd be Freddy. I said this last week, but I'll say it again. I don't think it'd be Freddy. I just don't see Kane playing that. I don't think it'd be Ghostface. I don't see Kane playing that character or being thought of for that character. I don't think it's going to be Norman Bates, somebody like that. I do think it's not going to be Candyman. It's not going to be Leprechaun. It's not going to be Chucky. So it's not going to be. I mean, it could be a character in the Evil Dead game. That's it could be. But assuming that he's playing like the main icon, which in the Evil Dead game I would assume he'd be a new character. So eliminating everybody I said, that leaves Leatherface, certainly a possibility. Yes, I do think it could be a Texas Chainsaw Massacre game. There is a new Texas Chainsaw franchise film that is coming out, I believe, this year. Maybe the rights holders approached Gunny and maybe they worked something out. I could see Kane playing Leatherface, and the more I think about it, I'd like to see that. But that one aside, all those other ones, the only other one that it really kind of leaves that it could be that's a household big icon like that is Michael Myers. And he could do that. He could play Myers, a brutal, bulky H6 type Myers. And he's wanted to do that. He's been on record before saying he'd like to play Michael Myers officially. You know, he did it in Adam Green's Halloween short years ago. The lost scene of Michael learning how to drive. So anyway, I mean, I could see it being that Kane is doing the motion capture for Michael Myers in the Halloween game. I could see it being Chainsaw and he's doing Leatherface. But other than that, once you eliminate Jason, and again, it could very easily be Victor Crowley. Yeah, I mean, could it be a new character in the Evil Dead game? Sure. But it's not going to be Ash. You know, it's not going to be one of the characters we already know, I don't think. So if he, you know, as we're assuming, which, you know, it's just speculation at this point, but if it is Kane playing the iconic killer or icon of that franchise, yeah, I mean, you know, he's not going to play Samara. He's not going to play Carrie. You know what I mean? I mean, you start looking at the horror franchises, the true franchises on the level of like a Friday the 13th game. And yeah, I mean, I really think it comes down to probably Leatherface or Michael Myers. And whether or not it is Michael Myers, I still say it doesn't matter because, I mean, as awesome as it would be, and I think it'd be awesome to see Kane, his version of Michael Myers, I feel like a game is inevitable. I mean, there's that new PlayStation 5, the new Xbox, everything is like, you know, now's the time. Evil Dead is in development. You know, these things. Friday the 13th was a huge thing. Again, a proof of concept in a lot of ways. Now, though, it's not a thing. And there's that void. And there are a ton of horror games that, again, take their cues from the horror movies and are now using more and more. You see it all the time. Horror figures, Leatherface, using Call of Duty and just all these different games, you know, icons, Ghostface, all these icons being used in other games. So, yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of time. All right, guys. Let's see. Yep. Ken says it'd be cool if it was Jeepers Creepers game for Kane. Byron says, matter of when. I hope it happens. I hope it does too. Those gifts were funny, yeah. Yeah, those gifts were everywhere. Alan says with Kane, he's thinking Texas Chainsaw or Hatchet. Yeah. Um. Again, I mean, Hatchet could definitely happen. They've been doing comic books with Hatchet. They've been doing all kinds of. I mean, that could be the only thing that makes me think it might not be Hatchet is again just the commercial value outside of the horror audience and how much that matters to whoever's financing this. But I mean, a Hatchet game that could even possibly be a game changer. No pun intended. Byron says Adam Green should do a Halloween film one day, hopefully soon. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit last week too. Adam Green's pitch, and I mean, I would love to see what he would do. Maybe in a few years, like you said, maybe 2026. A Dead by Daylight 2. Um, it could easily be that, but I mean, again, I didn't see the clip of the cameo. I've only read, other people's accounts of what happened, assuming the statement was that he's doing motion capture on another major horror franchise. I'm assuming that means horror movie franchise, but it could be another horror game franchise. You know, again, I think a lot of this is kind of wishful thinking, and but I'm also looking at it from an objective. This is the time for a Halloween game, if ever there's been one. We've got these current movies, and right now we've got for the next 18 months, and even beyond that, then we're going to have the special editions released, and then it's going to be the 45th anniversary of the original, which means it's the 5th anniversary of 2018, which so the franchise isn't going anywhere for a while, and it's hotter than ever. And I also go back to Trancas VP Ryan Freeman's statement on social media months ago that back in October actually, where he said that basically said we've not been just sitting around twiddling our thumbs during quarantine. We've been putting together a lot of projects. Some you're going to hear about soon, and some you're going to hear about later. And one of those soon ones turned out to be the children's book, The Legend of Halloween, which again is thinking outside the box, something different, something unique. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a new comic book somehow in the near future. I think that's another natural, especially given the fact that John Carpenter and his wife now are comic book publishers. I mean, it'd be so just a perfect marriage there to have Storm King publishing official Halloween comics. Of course, they probably couldn't use any of the stories that were done years ago in those previous comics, but there's so many ideas they could do out there. So yeah, taking all that into consideration, I think that a game is very likely one of those projects that they were quietly working on behind the scenes, finally having the time, unexpected time. We can't release Halloween Kills. We can't market it right now. We can't even film Halloween Ends right now. So David and everybody, they get a little extra time to tweak the Halloween Ends script. That's great. Meanwhile, Trancas, Malik Akkad, Ryan Freeman, they get a little time to talk to Universal, maybe, to talk internally about how they're going to, maximize this exposure in new ways. Of course, t-shirts, of course, collectible figures, of course, masks. But, the children's book, that's something different, something unique. I think we're going to see some other things like that. And again, the children's book is a little niche in itself, a little risky in some way. A video game, it's a no-brainer. It's really, I don't think they would have to do a lot of convincing. And I think much like when Christopher Nelson and David Gordon Green, everybody came together for Halloween 2018, and it was like they just knew that it was a coming together and doing it out of this passion of this thing that meant so much to them 40 years ago. I think it's very much the same way in the gaming industry, where you have creative professionals in the gaming industry, like Gun Media, who clearly have a love of horror. That Friday the 13th game, that was done with so much love for the franchise. So they could, again, the time is right. You have people that grew up, like us, that grew up on this shit. And they now can, make it. They can design it with love and a clear respect and still carry it forward to yet new audiences and new places. So, again, I mean, I don't think it's a matter of if it's going to happen. I think it's a matter of when it's going to happen. And I don't know when. I don't know. But I do think, again, adding everything together that I've just spoken of, that, yeah, between now and Halloween in the next 8 months or so, yeah, I think we're going to hear something about a video game. I wouldn't be surprised at all. If it's an announcement that is coming out next year, even if it's coming out way further down than that, I wouldn't be surprised. All right.
Alan agrees. My logic is sound on brand draw, so doubt they would go with Victor Crowley or Leatherface. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know. It depends on who's financing it and who's. Um, I think getting the rights to Victor Crowley is certainly easier because I'm pretty sure Adam Green controls that. Maybe not the Hatchet brand name itself, but I think he has that character, and that's why the new movie was just called Victor Crowley, and the comics are Victor Crowley. So, and again, I know there is a new Leatherface movie that is coming very soon, and maybe the current rights holders of that want to make a big splash. So it's possible, but I still lean towards the fact that the stars are aligning for a Halloween game with Michael Myers, and it would probably, I think, incorporate the current timeline with, I would hope, lots of Easter eggs to the expanded franchise, I guess, to the universe, the Halloween universe, the expanded Halloween universe, and all the different fragmented choose your own adventure timelines. I think, you know, that's what I'd like to see anyway. At least if you can't incorporate those literally choose your own adventure timelines, which would be amazing if they could, but assuming it's going to stick more or less to the 78 to 2018 current timeline, I think working in, the Easter eggs that that they did have a lot in 2018, like having the Silver Shamrock trick or treaters and stuff like that. I think the more of that they could do, the better. And you've also still got, like I said, so many of the people, so many of the original talent that could still lend their voices hypothetically to this uh, to the game. And you've got Carpenter, who himself is an actual gamer, who, when he's not watching basketball or making music, he's playing video games, and so. Let's see. Byron thinks Rob Zombie should have made Texas Chainsaw instead of Halloween. Yeah, that was definitely a big influence on all of his films. Texas Chainsaw Massacre for sure. Might be a little more in his wheelhouse, maybe in his rusty shed. Yeah, shocked that he hasn't done one. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think though, with so much backlash to his Halloween films, he probably won't do a franchise film. You know, I mean, he was on record years before getting offered Halloween that, you know, would you ever do a Halloween uh, remake? And he says, oh, hell no, hell no. But, things change when you're offered the opportunity of a lifetime like that, even though you know that half the people are going to hate it no matter what, I mean, but, um, Tootie Boo Adri. Hi, you could ask me a question, and if Michael Myers were to steal the mask of the Silver Clover Mark, steal the Silver Shamrock mask, if Michael were to wear a Silver Shamrock mask, I don't know. I always like to imagine that Silver Shamrock made Michael's mask somehow, even though it never appears to have the power chip. Maybe it fell off. But I don't know what would happen if Michael put on one of the big three Silver Shamrock masks. Phil says, I've met Kane Hodder lots of times. Very cool man. Yes, we've met him numerous times over the years. Again, he's going to be at Mad Monster this weekend too. If any of you guys watching this go to Mad Monster Party this weekend, and you talk to Kane or Tyler or any of the, tell them Matt at Halloween Daily said hi, and they'll be like, who the fuck's that? But let's see. Alan Postscript says that's what happens in my story, the monster's mask. That Michael's mask is made by Silver Shamrock. Nice. Yeah. I still have to read that, but Yeah, I mean, I think it only makes sense that Michael's mask is a silver shamrock. All right, guys. Well, Ken says he used the silver shamrock mask. The skull one seems almost most fitting for Michael because it'd just be the emotionless skull of death. But yes, Ken says the skull. I just see that now. Yeah, I think that's the one he'd use if any. What do you guys think? You think we'll see any more Silver Shamrock masks in Halloween Kills or Ends? Or, I mean, because clearly they exist in this universe. So, could we see those three kids again? Or another three kids? Or another kid with one or any combination of those masks? Are we going to hear a Silver Shamrock jingle, the commercial? I mean, again, Universal has Halloween 2 and 3. And Universal is releasing these current films. And Carpenter is right there, and Malika, you know what I mean? I mean, uh, they did use PJ Soul's voice as the teacher in Halloween 2018. They did have numerous, Easter eggs throughout. And so, could we get a Silver Shamrock commercial in Halloween Kills or Ends? I don't know, but again, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked to see that at all. In fact, I am hoping that we do see a Silver Shamrock commercial. Alan says if they do a Halloween video game, he hopes they should do the Silver Shamrock Factory figures into the story. Figure it into the story. Yeah, I agree. I mean, if they could work the Silver Shamrock into it somehow, because I imagine with Friday the 13th you had Jason and you had certain elements from the film. A lot of the actual characters from the films they couldn't use them because they couldn't use the likenesses and I guess various permissions. So there were more like generic counselors and campers. And I imagine a lot of that would have to be done with this game, where you couldn't maybe you couldn't even use Laurie Strode, but you could use somebody that signifies that. So, but Silver Shamrock, yeah, I mean, even if it wasn't Cochran, you could have a whole other character, or even just the factory is like a place for one of the scenes of one of the levels, one of the chases. But yeah, I would absolutely. I mean, how epic would that be to tie in all the like the different landmarks that we've seen from the other sequels, like the Silver Shamrock Factory and Santa Mira itself, even um, Haddonfield Memorial Hospital, which we saw in Halloween 2. We're about to see again in Halloween Kills. And, obviously there'd be places like the Myers house, we would imagine, and the Wallace house, and the Strode house, and the Doyle house, and Smith's Grove, I would imagine. Yeah. Yeah, with a bunch of kids walking around and one kid playing it on a cassette tape radio. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I could see it on like a modernized version almost. Like how they, I'm talking about the Silver Shamrock jingle now. If you remember in the 2018 film, how they did like a slow country music version of the song that Laurie is singing to herself, the Wish I Had You All Alone song, and they actually recorded it, and it plays after the bus crash and also during the closing credits. Uh, I would love to see them do something similar with the Silver Shamrock jingle, where maybe it's almost unrecognizable. Like, I mean, I'd love to hear the old version just pop up, but I wouldn't be opposed to, I guess, if they did something like that, where it's like a re-recorded, reimagined version, and it takes you a minute or two, and then you're like, wait a minute, I recognize that, and before you know it, 3 more days till Halloween. You know, maybe it's slower, maybe it's fast. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it is a lot like the old one. I just kind of feel like Silver Shamrock, it just should have a place in this universe. I mean, it does have a place in this universe. So why not let that jingle and those commercials have a place in there, even if it doesn't follow into that storyline so much. It would still, I think, for us fans, just the Easter egg of hearing that, you know, I mean, it'd be priceless. Yeah, Byron says lose my mind if that happens. Yeah, Close to Me is the song. Right, right, yeah. And if they did something like that. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't put their version of that Close to Me on the soundtrack. And they didn't put it on the extended one, I don't think either. Um, you guys correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I don't think it was even on the extended version. Byron asking and if we want to talk about the anthology series we were talking about earlier. Byron and I have exchanged a few messages online about some different pitch ideas that he has and different ways that things could go. I mean, sure, we could talk about it. Kid says there's someone walking by, one of the actors singing it. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think there'd be numerous ways. Yeah, you could. It could even be like, you know, just like a jingle that somebody's singing subconsciously, like Jingle Bells or something, and they're just kind of under their breath, and and that's the wink to us fans. Even, I mean, it could be that. I mean, but if they did a re-recorded reimagining of that Silver Shamrock, and even if they did some kind of, like, imagine what Silver Shamrock's commercials would look like today. Let's imagine Halloween 3 happened, but maybe Cochran, maybe the last channel did pull it off just in time, and all the kids' brains didn't explode. But and Cochran's gone, let's assume, but Silver Shamrock's still around. Let's say, you know. So what would they be doing today, according to what they were doing then? What advertising would they be doing today in today's, well, in 2018's world, which isn't quite today's? Assuming all of Kills and Ends too, I guess, is going to take place still on that same Halloween night. We don't know for sure. We know Kills is going to start there, and who knows what will happen from there. But go for it. Okay, so with the anthology series, Byron. All right, so tell everybody what we're talking about here. Are you saying this is like the Bates Motel, where it might follow Allison after? Or am I getting them mixed up? I might be getting the your pitches mixed up. I mean, if it's an anthology Silver Shamrock style, but the Bates Motel idea, again, you could, depending on how they lead the Allison character after these next two movies, you could do a continuation focusing on her um, in a Bates Motel kind of way, where it's a remix of a familiar story we know. Maybe even close to what was gonna be kind of the Halloween 5, where, like, It kind of looked like the evil was going to be passed to Jamie Lee Lloyd at the end of Halloween 4, and then they kind of backed off of that a little bit in Halloween 5, and um, so you could play with that a little bit. And again, I'm not even saying incorporate the sibling angle because I don't think they should do that. And in fact, I'd be probably a little annoyed at this point if they did introduce the Michael and Laurie are siblings after all thing in either of these next two movies, because so much has been made about the fact that they're not this time around. So let's not let's just leave that for the other adventures, the other storylines, the other timelines that are available if you want that. So I hope they don't reintroduce that in this timeline. And even without doing that, though, I do think that Allison and Michael, they could build on like a shared, I don't know if chemistry is the right word, but something being passed on to her through the trauma of her grandmother, through the trauma of her mom, that her mom's kind of in denial of some of her own trauma of how she was raised by Laurie. So all these things, and then having this life-altering night when she's, I'm assuming she's 17 in the 2018 film. That's how old Laurie was when, that's how old Judith was. So I'm assuming Allison is 17. So she has this life-altering thing, much like her grandma did. So yeah, that I could see if and then they could still incorporate elements of the Jamie Lloyd story that we kind of know. I mean, and if it was going to be on for a couple years, they could even be doing amazing things like bringing people like Danielle Harris in, maybe to play an entirely different character. But again, there's a cool Easter egg for us, and maybe she plays somebody else related to this franchise that we know and love. And if not just her, maybe some other characters. Yep. Okay. Byron's talking about his Halloween Generations pitch anthology series about Allison. Yeah, the granddaughter of Laurie Strode. Yeah, and if that's the way we were going to go with it, then yeah, that's what I would say. Use elements of Halloween 4 and 5 where it looked like the evil might be passed on to Jamie Lloyd. Use elements of the original Halloween 2 when they're talking about Samhain and the origins of Halloween. And you can even work in, because it's a TV series, why not work in elements of Season of the Witch and the true history of Halloween itself. And if you can work that in with some elements of, the Jamie Lloyd, the victim being attacked, maybe is she or is she not gonna succumb to this evil that she's come so close to, but she's seemingly defeated. But and again, who knows if Halloween Ends has some ending similar to the ending of Halloween 4? That'd be fascinating to see where this could all go. I mean, what if it's not even Allison? What if here's a wild one for you guys. What if Halloween Ends jumps 5 years past 2018? And now it's 2023. We haven't even thought about that. Where are these characters then? What if Allison has a kid, has like a 4-year-old or a 3-year-old or something at that point, and somehow they get the knife at the end, the scissors, right? Because even younger than Jamie Lloyd, maybe. No, I don't think they'll go for that. But that could be. And I've talked on here before, and I think Byron and I have talked off of the stream before about it, the idea of, and I know I've talked to you guys about it too, of a similar anthology where it would be more of the young Loomis story. And which again, you could even do that through the Allison story if you really wanted to, and make it Samuel Loomis's son or grandson even, and maybe he's just starting out at Smith's Grove. Maybe Allison's locked up there now instead of Michael. Maybe Allison's kid is locked up there instead of Michael. Maybe that's it. Maybe we jump 6 years into the future after 2018. She's got a 6-year-old, the same age Michael was when he started. And it's the 6-year-old who attacks Allison at the very end of the ends and has a Halloween 4 moment at the end of that. Now we spin that off into the HBO Max series, the anthology series, the Generations that you're talking about, Byron. Yeah, that's the way I think I'd go with it. And I did love Bates Motel as a show and as an origin remix of the origin of Norman Bates, where they didn't stick 100% to the stories from the films, but it was close enough and paid homage enough that I loved it, and really enjoyed that show. So I would love to see something similar where they pay off the origin of Michael and even Loomis or Allison, but with a remix, where it's using elements of the story and even character names and maybe people related to certain characters that we know from other films. And here they are. Like seeing those silver shamrock masks. I mean, in a series, certainly you would have time to lay out so many more of those Easter eggs. And if they really knew what they were doing and got serious about it, you could tie in things like silver shamrock. And all of our brains would just go nuts and explode. Right, guys? All right, let me see here. No Thorn stuff with Allison. Yeah, probably no Thorn stuff. I'd stay away from the Thorn stuff, but you could play with the origin of Halloween and real life witchcraft. You could definitely play with that. Bates Motel mixed with Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. Yeah, exactly. Take place after 2018, maybe 2023. Yeah, hopefully no COVID by then, so there'd be no restrictions, and then yeah. Hopefully there's not another some new variation virus that's affecting us at that point. But yeah, Byron, I think all that could work totally. I think like I always say about this franchise, the only thing we know for sure is they're going to do something unexpected that none of us see coming. And whether it's starting over again or starting at this point and continuing from here, like I always say, it's kind of like Batman or Dracula. It's like, what part of this mythology do we want to tell? Do we want to tell the part that everybody's seen many times, or do we want to focus on something that maybe everybody's known about, but hadn't focused on quite so much? And but as far as the continuing the Allison story, it definitely depends on how they leave it with this story. But I think it'd be worth exploring, a TV option after these movies. Years ago, Malik Akkad said that he'd rather just stop making the movies altogether before not releasing them to theaters, which I totally agree with. But I do think in recent years, the landscape of the world has changed in the entertainment industry to where now there is more freedom and more risks and more horror quality stuff on TV in a lot of cases, especially when you look at networks like HBO that, when budget, there's no limit to budget and time, and you can do all kinds of stuff. There's El Senor Dia Creepy Pastero. Hello, Senor. Happy Michael Myers Monday. Let me have another drink. "28 months later, tackles this pandemic." Yep. Yeah, I mean, the novelizations all have stuff that's not in the original films, or even in some cases it's not in the scripts. So those things, I mean, it's always the question: how much are they canon or not? The novelizations, but there's stuff in there that could be used in the '78 novelization. There's stuff in there, like I'm talking about the that they play more into. Carpenter starts to play more into with the sequel with Halloween 2, with scrawling Samhain on the wall, and so. What kind of coffee? Well, it is my coffee mug, but it's actually my traditional Michael Myers mango twist that I have on Monday nights. Yeah, if I start drinking coffee at this time of night, though, I'll be up all night. So, all right, everybody. Well, that's what I got for this week, guys. Um, I'll be back next week, and I will plan to have some more merch here for show and tell. Like I said, there's links to pretty much everything I talked about in the description, and if not, then you can always find it at HalloweenDailyNews.com. The merch specifically is HalloweenDailyNews.com/shop. Like I said, if you do order either of these 1978 masks, the Boogeyman over here, or this guy, one more time, this guy over here, my friend, let me know that you do that in the next 24 hours, and I'll put in an extra treat in the package, and I will be back next week, and we'll talk about some other stuff. I'll bring down the wall decor. We've got the Halloween 3 and the Halloween 4 we can take a look at, and probably some other stuff. And I'm sure there's going to be more Myers-related news because 'tis the season, 'tis the year, 'tis the time. I mean, it's not even the season, but every season is the season for us here at Halloween Daily. And this year, I mean, the news is going to keep coming. There's going to be merch news, merch announcements. There's going to be all kinds of stuff. And maybe that game announcement. It could happen tomorrow. We could all wake up tomorrow and there it is. And but also, again, I'm not going to mention any names because, as I've said, I get a little superstitious and don't want to jinx things. But I've got an interview coming up probably in the next few days. And it's going to be somebody that you guys here on Michael Myers Monday Live, it's going to be somebody you know, somebody you love, somebody you're going to be excited to hear from. That's all I'm going to say right now. But it's because I feel like if I say a name, that might jinx things. And so after it's happened and it's done, then I'll announce who it was, and that's going to be coming up soon too. And that's just going to kick off kind of this whole year of coverage as far as this franchise. Because as I've said, as we get closer to Halloween Kills, I mean, there's a number of people that I've been in contact with that I plan to be doing interviews with. Some are friends of mine, of HDN, that maybe we've talked before. Others are new friends that we're going to be talking for the first time. Some involved with Halloween Kills, some not, but involved in other films from this franchise. And eventually we're going to get to a point where, we're going to have maybe a guest pop in to these lives and join us from time to time. Maybe some of the gentlemen that have played Michael Myers over the years. Maybe some of the people that have been victims of Michael Myers over the years. Maybe some of the people that have survived an encounter with Michael Myers. It's all a possibility, and like I said, I'm not going to jinx anything by naming any names right now, but a lot of that is coming in the near future. So, all right, everybody. Again, I just want to thank all you guys for tuning in tonight. And if I didn't get to your comments, then I apologize. I will do my best to get to them tomorrow, but I think I got to most everybody. Sammy, Phil, Ken, Byron, all you guys, Senior, all you guys out there watching. Alan, thank you all for tuning in tonight and listening to me yap about one of my favorite things to yap about. And thanks for chiming in. And again, if you do want buy one of those 78 masks, make sure you let me know as soon as you buy it. Just all you gotta do is let me know your name and that you purchased it, and I'll be able to verify on the purchase order. And but you don't want to wait to let me know, because if I don't get your notification, then it's just going to get shipped out without the treat. So, and you can let me know by just commenting down below on this video, or like I said, you can email us directly at the HalloweenDailyNews.com/contact, or you can send us a message on Instagram. We're on Instagram as well, and I'll see it that way. So, all right, everybody. I'm going to say it one more time. You guys say it with me, and I will see you next week. God willing, we'll be here. That's the plan next week. And also the Halloween show this Friday, our pre-recorded show. Be sure to check that out. And till then, guys, happy Michael Myers Monday. All right, guys. I'm Matt Arts for Halloween Daily News. Thank you guys for watching.